hue and hewing and what is that? It's like, sounds like some crazy thing. And life coaching, well, what on earth is that? And why would you ever need a life coach? And now therapy is actually in vogue. You don't have a therapist. It's like, well, what's wrong with you?
Right.
You don't have therapy. You don't have a therapist. You don't go to therapy every week. It's pretty interesting how things have changed. And really it goes back to fighting the good fight that we brought this out so long ago. 20 years ago, we've been sharing this hue forever, one magic word, and only now are y'all ready for these tools. And we are so happy. We are so excited. We've been ready and waiting.
It was 17 years. We used to get such pushback, and people would go, what do you guys do again? And then would have to repeat it. Life coach, what the hell is that? And it was like, oh my God. And what's your tools? What?
Well,
it was kind of like, whoa.
Well, you talk about pushback. The last podcast we just did that you've seen was Mancow, the radio shock jock. And he had us on with signs. And that was approximately the same time frame. No, that was probably 10 years ago. With Mancow. And nonetheless, he actually hung up the phone on live air because he was just couldn't get down with signs and how they work. Then he had that crazy sign later that day with slash and vipers and a package that came to his house that he called us incessantly. Literally, the producer called begging us to come back on the show so Shock Jock Mancow could apologize. And we played that on last week's podcast for you.
Mm-hmm. And he never apologized. That was a first and only.
And he said that.
And it was so dramatic for him in his living room. The signs, there were hundreds of them. It all came in. It literally freaked him out.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't know what you guys do or how you do that or what kind of magic that is, but I apologize. It's the real deal. He was completely freaked out. Yeah. So, and I'm thinking, hey, sometimes the universe or God happens very, very quickly. It's like wake the F up.
Wake up. Yeah. So between this podcast and last week's podcast, you can see the difference 10 years ago, 17 years ago, the resistance that we have been dealing with the signs, with these tools. And the bottom line,